it was striking to me that 1.3 billion people today in the world, more than people who are hungry, 1.3 billion are overweight or obese. 300 million people are obese in the world and are people who, as a result, are susceptible of developing diabetes, cancers, cardiovascular diseases, and so my report was very much focused on that. I also presented a set of guiding principles on the human rights impact assessment of trade and investment agreements, the result of a one-year-long consultation with various parties across the UN human rights system and with governments, and I presented reports on China, on Mexico, on South Africa, and on Madagascar. We had in New York on the 19th and 20th of September one high-level meeting of the United Nations General Assembly on the prevention of non-communicable diseases. And a political declaration was adopted there that the World Health Organization now shall have to work at implementing. It shall the World Health Assembly shall meet in May to listen to the proposals made by the World Health Organization as to which implementation measures could be taken. So my report fits into this process that seeks to address the issue of non-communicable diseases, many of which stem from bad nutrition, inadequate nutrition, nutrition that is high in saturated fats, in salts, in sugars, and that creates sick people. And my key message here is essentially twofold. First, we have for many years trusted voluntary commitments, nutritional campaigns, soft measures, if you wish, without addressing what I would like to call the structural causes of the obesogenic environments that we have created. And my main proposals in the report seek to address these more structural causes, to re-examine the systems on which we depend to feed ourselves, because I locate in those systems, rather than in the behavior of the consumer, the problems that we are facing. And my main proposals are, number one, to re-examine the subsidies that go to agricultural production, because in many cases these subsidies have promoted the development of cereals, particularly maize and soy, but also wheat. And the focus on a narrow range of cereals was absolutely good news for the agri-food industry, who could use maize and soybean in particular as a cheap input for their processed foods, but it led to poor nutrition, and in many cases the health outcomes of this focus in subsidies policies on these basic cereals was entirely neglected. And we now understand that we are going to have to pay in the next few years a very high price for not supporting enough fruits and vegetables, and for not having subsidies support a much wider dietary variety in our food regimes. All too often, we trust the agri-food companies to self-monitor themselves, and they have adopted many codes of conduct of various types that seek to reduce the negative impacts of advertising directed towards children, especially through TV. This is not working. Even the best code of conduct, which is a code of conduct adopted within the EU by the agri-food companies in the EU, is under-enforced and does not address the real problem, which is that most advertising that children are faced with and that children are influenced by is advertising for soft drinks, for candies, for chocolates, for snacks that are very salty or heavy in sugars and highly caloric.